Welcome back, Stampers. We're going to do our next card, and this is our Christmas Bouquet card. It's a beautiful poppy parade color, and we're going to use a number of stamps from the set. So you're going to want the large flower image and have that on a block so that the big flower is at the bottom and the other two are towards the top. Okay. You're also going to want the pine cone one. Now this has got 3 pine cones and 3 other funny little shapes that are actually the centers of the flowers. So to make this easy for you to line up, I like to hold my blocks on an angle, just easier for me. So my large flower is towards the bottom and my 2 bigger ones are towards the top. I'm going to take this one. You'll notice that the 3 odd little shapes that are the centers of the flowers, there's a tiny one, a larger one, and a big one. The big one, of course, matches with the big flower. So I'm just going to sort of line them up roughly where they go, and then I'm going to take my block and hold it the way I like to hold it in my hand and put it down on top of that. If you like to do yours straight and you want to line them up straight so they line up with the paper, you do that. Just make sure that you do the same with your flowered image, okay? And when you go to line these up, they should line up with the way that you had your blocks positioned, okay? The other one we're going to need is the one that's got all the different little sprigs on it, and this has got a notch cut out in it that roughly matches the flowers, and so you're going to want to have them all pointing up, and I'm going to show you how that lines up when we get to that spot as well. You're going to want 3 colors of ink: Poppy Parade, Old Olive. You could also use the Evening Evergreen. That's in here, or the Mossy Meadow. The Mossy Meadow is in the background there as well. And you're going to want the Crumb Cake, or if you don't have Crumb Cake, you're going to want the
Sahara Sand?
No.
Or early espresso?
No, soft suede, but you're going to want to stamp soft suede off before you stamp it on. Okay. In our kit, you're going to look for the card base that has the Poppy Parade. And in that envelope, you're also going to find a piece of white for the inside of your card, the designer series paper, piece of this beautiful silver mesh ribbon, and your tag. So let's do our stamping first. You're going to want a mat or foam or something and a piece of scrap paper to protect it, because we're going to go right off the edges. We're going to start with our poppy and our large flowers. So I'm going to ink up my large flowers with the big one at the bottom and the other 2 up, right in the middle. Okay. Then I'm going to go to my pine cones, and we're going to do that in Crumb Cake or soft suede stamped off. And I'm looking to line up the 3 little dots with the center of my flowers. And so I am standing up and looking straight down into this to make sure that I get them as close as I can. There we go. And when you do, that was off just a hair, but your pine cones are going to line up on the outside. It's a very forgiving stamp set. Now, this is where it gets a little bit more difficult. Okay. There's a grouping of the sprigs, there's a space, and then there's another 2 little sprigs here. That space is where that pine cone goes. Okay, so I'm going to ink this up with my Old Olive. And you'll see that the flowers, the petals on the flowers fit into those gaps. And if you leave them just a little bit away from the flowers, it should be okay. Okay, now that's that. Here's the problem though, that doesn't necessarily match up with everything else that's here. So as we go around, we're just going to try and fit them around the other shapes and things that are there and make sure that they just kiss the flowers. Like that. And then I'm going to do a 3rd one over here and try to tuck my little pine cone that's there into the little gap in between. There we go. That's about all you can do. it's just rough. Okay. We're done our stamping. Now we're down to assembly. So we will fold and burnish our card base. Okay, and then we're going to, we'll put our inside in first and get it out of the way. You stamp whatever you like on the inside of your card. Finish it off with free dimensional. Finish it off with a bottle or some more of the flowers and a sentiment. Okay. Then our designer paper layer. Goes on here. Like that. And then through the middle, just an inch, I'm going to put a little strip of seal. Yep. Just to hold my mesh in place. Just like that. And then when I put dimensionals on here, I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals right along the back in the middle to stick through that mesh to hold it down to the front of the card. Just like that. Just make sure I press those two in the middle really well. There we are. Now, in one of your kits, we included a strip of rhinestones. And although we haven't directed you to use them yet, you use them wherever you want to. But this is an excellent card to use some of those rhinestones on because it's already got some silver on it. Put a little one there. What do you think? A little one down here. We'll put a big one down there.
Yeah, I would, yeah, wherever.
Yep, wherever. And a big one. I'm going to put a big one down here. Put it in the dark area. There. Just adds a little bit extra to it. There we are. Oh, you want me to trim the...
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay.
We didn't on this one, but I think we should trim it a bit.
Just give it a little bit of a haircut here so that it doesn't stick off the edge. There we go. All right. Hope you enjoyed that card. Can't wait to see how you finish yours off.